Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Generational Run podcast. I'm your host, Mads, and tonight I am back with Evan, who you guys probably know as Dominguez Lover. So thank you for coming on the show again.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, so today we just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the offseason and what we think the Yankees are going to do. Pretty unpredictable, but let's jump into it. You have the spreadsheet ready?
Spreadsheet got baseball reference up. I'm ready to go for my guy Kyle Tucker.
All right, tell us why the Yankees should sign Kyle Tucker.
Here's not why we need to sign him. This is why we need to sign him. Why? Not why I think we have to. Why we need to. So I tweeted this about a few weeks ago. Since 2021, Kyle, if you're just saying sign Bellinger over Tucker, this is the comparison. Since 2021, Kyle Tucker has had a WAR, and I don't care about the people who say a WAR isn't a real stat. It's a real stat. Kyle Tucker's had a WAR of 23.4 since 2024, and this is him only playing also 70 games in last year from an injury, and missing a few this year because of injury. Since 2021, Cody Bellinger has had a WAR of 11.9. So if you want to round that up to 12 for Bellinger, that's fine. It's still a 23.4 to a 12 WAR. So automatically you're doubling your wins just from Kyle Tucker himself. And this was considered a down year for Kyle Tucker, playing in arguably what players consider. And from the start of the year, playing at Wrigley is hard for hitters just because of the wind. And players have stated that early in the season, the wind is horrible at Wrigley. So Tucker played 20 less games than Bellinger this year and finished with 0.4 less WAR than him. And this is when he had, I'm pretty sure he had a fractured bone in his hand this year. And that's why he was struggling for a little bit close to a month, maybe a little more, where he literally couldn't buy a hit and still almost finished evenly in WAR in what was considered a Bellinger great year. And then if you want to look furthermore into it, in 2023, Kyle Tucker finished top 5 in MVP voting. Now, he didn't win it, but again, 2023 was a stacked American League year, where that was the year Judge got hurt in LA. He obviously wasn't beating out Ohtani, and that was the year 2 and 3 with Semien and Seager, who ended up winning the World Series. And then in 4th was J-Rod, but if you look at the stats, Tucker had better stats than J-Rod, so you could argue that he should have been top 4 and not top 5. And even so, his stats were close enough to Semien where you could argue he should have finished also in top 3 voting. So this is a guy that could get you an MVP at some point if he continues to play at a high level, which he's capable of. This is a player that, when healthy, is a top 15 player in the sport, both leagues included. You can even argue top 10 if you wanted to. And you want to talk about his defense, what year was it? 2023 as well, or 2020? 2022, he won a Gold Glove in right field. So the defense could definitely be there. But if you want to talk about versatility with Bellinger, how many games did Bellinger play first base with us?
Not that many.
Not that many. And who's the starting first baseman right now for us? Ben Rice. So you're not going to platoon a lefty with another lefty.
Right.
So automatically, if you're plugging in Bellinger with us, center field strictly, and if Judge is getting off days, then you put him in right. So he's only giving you center and right, theoretically, for majority of the season. Maybe some games at first if you have to. Now, if you want to sign Tucker and be like, where's Judge going to play? Easily. Not easily, but you could put Tucker in left. He started as a left fielder, and then the COVID season, he played left field. It's been a little bit since he's played in left, but he's that type of player where he could adapt and easily contribute to playing everyday left field for us. Now, this is going to obviously get into some Dominguez playing time if they want to keep him in left, but then you make the argument Tucker's a better player than Dominguez, and you want to win now.
Right.
especially if the lockout's coming in 2027 and with Judge's age. I know Cashman's an idiot sometimes and didn't want to get into specific that he wants to get players for Judge in his prime now. But it's in the back of his head. It's in the back of everybody's head. This is our window, right? So you're gonna, in my opinion, Tucker's the guy you have to get. He should be your number one priority.
So
If
would you
I'm,
want? Oh, keep going.
because
Go ahead.
Boris is with Tucker and Bellinger.
Right.
So if I'm talking to Boris, I'm asking for Tucker's number first. What does Tucker want? Because you had Bellinger throughout the season, and you maybe had under the table discussions with Boris about what you want his numbers to be for a contract. So that could be in the back of your mind. But in the scenario where you could get both theoretically, where if you had to choose between one or the other, let's say, and you could get one or the other, it has to be Tucker. He's younger. And are you banking on Bellinger to have another year like that?
Right.
Or are you going to be like, let me get a consistent player who's finished top 5 in MVP voting, not to take away from Bellinger's MVP he won with the Dodgers. But the years after that, he had arguably one of the worst stints in LA after his MVP season, where he kept going down and down. And Bellinger has the injury problems, and so has Tucker, but Tucker's is more of like freak injuries. Not so much Bellinger, who's had, I believe, back problems in the past and things like that. I just think Tucker's going to be more expensive, but you're getting the better player. And we're not the Pirates, the Reds, We have the money to spend. Like, the money's there. Money should,
Yeah.
for the Yankees, the money should never be a problem. But it's become a problem, which I don't get. But I am all in on Kyle Tucker. That is my guy.
That was good. That was very convincing. So do you think if we sign Kyle Tucker and we extend Cody Bellinger, do you think Cody becomes our backup first baseman, or do you think we still go after Alonso or Murakami, or I think Okamoto also plays corner infields, correct?
Yeah, Okamoto plays first. He started playing first.
And he's a righty.
He's a righty, and he played a little bit of left field also in his time in Japan. But from videos I've seen of him, this guy in Japan has played Gold Glove caliber defense, and I'm pretty sure he's won a Gold Glove at first in Japan. And this is a guy, Okamoto, for example. For me, I was all over Murakami, right? Get the left-handed bat. But then, you see the stats. His contact rate is less than Stanton's.
And you don't want another one of those.
And Okamoto hits over 400 on 93-mile-per-hour fastballs and up. Right? And a lot of problems that Japanese players have coming over, hitters especially coming over to the States, is that velocity is much higher here. I think here, the average fastball velocity it's like 94, 95. In Japan, it's around 93. So it's like around 1 mile per hour, 2 mile per hour slower in Japan. So a lot of hitters have a troubling time catching up to the velocity. And I think that's going to play a problem more for Murakami because he's a power hitter. Automatically, when you're a power hitter, your swing slower because you're generating more power. So it's going to take a little bit longer of a time to swing the bat than it is. And it's not to take away from Okamoto's power because he has power. I have his stats up here also, where he's hit.
You came prepared.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's hit 41 home runs. Yeah, he's hit 41 home runs in 2023. And he also hit 280. So, I mean, this is a guy who can get on base, but could also leave the ballpark when needed. So I think if you wanted a platoon option, I think you got to go righty. Because even if you extend Bellinger, I don't think they're going to want a platoon lefty.
Right. It doesn't make sense to do lefty-lefty.
But you could with Bellinger saying he's the best left-on-left hitter in baseball, which is a great argument to have for Bellinger to extend him, right? You have a lefty who hits lefties better than he does righties.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to weigh out all options. I think they'll be out on Murakami pretty fast if they see nothing's flowing there. I don't think they're going to want to dive deep into trying to get him if they know it's not viable for them. And I think they're going to look at personally. I think they're going to look at Okamoto more, just because I think they were higher on Murakami because they weren't sure if Okamoto was going to get posted.
Right.
He's
Murakami we knew was going to get posted, and I think they just announced yesterday that
yeah
Okamoto is like officially being posted. And Murakami also said he either wanted to sign with the West Coast team or the Yankees. That's automatically like you're in the running.
yeah
It's not a West Coast or an East Coast team. It's a
yeah.
West Coast team or the Yankees. So immediately you have to say, all right, we need to go all in on this guy because he's actually giving us a shot. Like the whole thing with Roki Sasaki, we knew he was going to sign with the Dodgers, even though the Yankees were one of the last teams. But I think the whole time
Yeah.
he was going to the Dodgers. So
And
Murakami, he was like, you know, either West Coast, which Dodgers, anyone would probably be the Dodgers,
yeah,
or the Yankees. That's again, the Yankees have the money for it. They have to, go for it and actually sign these people. But then
yeah.
Okamoto got posted, so I think that they definitely need to put more time and energy and money into that signing
This is
because it would benefit them more.
so Okamoto plays for. I don't want to mispronounce the city name that he plays in, but he plays for the Giants Japanese team. That's their team name, the Giants, and he's the first position player to ever be posted by that team. Pitchers have been posted before. I can't name the name off the top of my head, but he's the first position player to be posted by that team. This team doesn't post players to come to the league, so I don't think people, especially the executives, because they obviously know more than us. They were like, oh, this guy might be a long shot to get posted just because of the history that the Giants have of posting their players. So, but I think now that he has been posted, I think a lot of teams are going to be in on him just because his natural hitting ability, and he has had some injuries in the past, but I still think he's uh, a higher end. I think you could even put him above Murakami
Yeah.
for asking price. I think he's a much more versatile player. I think at the end of the day in the MLB, I think he'll be the better MLB player if all things translate between him and Murakami. Because I feel like you know what you're getting out of Murakami. You're gonna get Murakami and hope the power translates to MLB. So I
Yeah,
think
so it's a total crapshoot if you do that.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone has like emerged as a front runner yet for Okamoto because I know that I think it was Murakami before, and it was like the Yankees were a front runner. Someone credible posted about it, and I don't remember who it was, but someone posted that the Yankees were
Yeah,
definitely emerging as a front runner for Murakami, but this was also before Okamoto got
I mean,
posted.
I think a lot of these, uh, obviously, a lot of them like to stay on the West Coast because it's closer to home.
Right.
But I think you also have the history behind Japanese players. Now, of course, the Dodgers have that history now with Ohtani winning the ring there and having Yamamoto and Sasaki there. So that already helps a Japanese player feel more comfortable. And I think that's a big reason why Roki signed there because, he was posted early. He theoretically should still be in Japan playing baseball. Got posted early. And you saw the clips of him crying like
Mm-hmm.
after his first start. And I think having Ohtani and Yamamoto there, someone he's easily able to communicate with and talk with, I think helped him a lot. And then, but if you look at the Yankee side, it's like, and you look at the history, you're like, okay, Tanaka had a very successful career here as a pitcher coming over from Japan. And then you look at Hideki Matsui, won the World Series MVP with the Yankees. So I think, and a lot of these players look up to Matsui and Tanaka, not saying they don't look up to Ohtani and all of them, obviously, because they should. But I think the history from the Yankees successfully translating Japanese talent into MLB talent is there. And I think that's a big key reason why these certain Japanese players are also so interested in the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a historic franchise, but because they've proven they could help translate their game to the major league level.
Right, and like Matsui and Tanaka didn't necessarily have an Ohtani or
Yeah.
a Yamamoto to talk to. Like just the language barrier alone is like you're coming to a whole new country, a whole new state to play baseball, and you can't understand anyone. Like that is so hard. And they
Yeah,
didn't really. The Dodgers do tend to sign all of the people that come over from Japan, and yes, it is close to home for all of them. But they do have that camaraderie there, and they know each other, um, and it's just easier to communicate. Tanaka and Matsui didn't necessarily have that, and the Yankees did help them,
yeah,
transform into these superstar baseball players, which is really cool.
yeah. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they try to do with that, but I think there's
Hmm.
a high chance we land at least one of them. If they're going to go after one of them, I think it's
For
there.
sure. Well, okay, I need to ask you now. Do you think we're getting Scooble?
No, no. So, Jim Bowden, I think, put it out today that the likelihood of him getting of the Tigers listening to offers at him at the winter meetings is
Mhm.
almost a guarantee. I think it's a guarantee that they'll listen to offers on Screwball but it's a significantly higher chance now that they move him if the price is right. And I think just looking at it, prospects team wise, I think the Mets will be all in
Stop! Don't
if
say
he's
that.
available. I just think they have the players. I think Steve Cohen is so focused on winning a ring that he's like, obviously some players are untouchable that he wouldn't move, but I think he's very like I'll offer a lot of my players that necessarily other GMs or owners wouldn't want to move. But now that I think of it, I thought before, I think bringing up a past point is 2027, probably an 85% chance the season doesn't get played. And if you're the Yankees looking at it, you're like, okay, if we're not playing in 2 years, Judge will be Judge will be 34 this season.
Yeah, so he'll be
So
36 the next time he's
so if
stepping
you're
on a
like
field.
so if you're the Yankees really focusing on wanting to get players for this Judge window that somehow miraculously hasn't closed yet, I don't know how. Uh, then you look at it like that. You're like, am I willing to give up these players knowing we won't play in 2027? Just give Judge the best chance. Because if you look at it now, Fried's an excellent. Hello, Alyssa. Fried's an excellent regular season pitcher. You know, Rodon has shown he could. Past 2 years,
My guy, I love Carlos.
he could have great regular seasons, right? But when the postseason runs around, are you trusting those guys? Obviously, you should trust Max Fried because you gave him 7 years. Um, I'm sorry, you have 7 more years left. He has that ace contract under him, and then you look at Rodon in this postseason with Fried, and you're like, why? Like,
Yeah.
why did that happen? And I get it. You face the Blue Jays, a team that doesn't strike out a lot, but I feel like that's more concerning for Max Fried because he's not a strikeout pitcher, right? They were doing damage on pitchers that get put in play by him. Like he's a pitcher that trusts his defense. He's a pitcher that's like, I'm gonna put the ball in play for my defense. But the strikeouts are there for Fried. But a team against Toronto, you're not expecting him to strike out 10.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy like Screwball, I don't care if you strike out the least in the league. You put Screwball on the mound, you could expect 10 strikeouts from him.
He had what, 14 strikeouts in the
Yeah, yeah,
wild card games? That was insane.
so he's definitely, if the Yankees are looking at it from like, I want to get players now for Judge in this window, then I could see the Yankees being more aggressive.
I think you
But if
have to go all in.
but if Cashman's staying true to like, I'm not even thinking about Judge's window or Judge's age or the prime, then I think the Yankees will talk to the Tigers, see what they want, and if they don't like it, they're just going to leave it there. Because I think there's a lot of players the Yankees don't want to give up because that's what they do with their prospects.
So we're definitely going to entertain the idea of a trade with Scooble. Is it going to happen? I think that you think he's going to go to the Mets, or I don't know if you still think he's going to go to the Mets because
Yeah.
you're kind of on the fence there. I think if Steve Cohen wants someone, Steve Cohen is going to get someone. So if the Yankees offer him the same amount of money, if they can match what the Mets are going to give him, or make it in the same ballpark, it comes down to who does Scooble want to play
Yeah.
for? Does he want to go to Queens or does he want to go to the Bronx?
And it's not even Steve Cohen's going to get who he wants to get. It's Steve Cohen's going to get who he wants to get and then tell them, I'm going to make you the highest paid player in the league. Scooble is going to get, and he should get more money than Max Fried.
Right.
But Scoobal's going to be like, I'm going to give you $400 million plus.
Right.
Which on paper is like, okay, he deserves $400 million plus. So, and I think that's where the Yankees are like, might get a little iffy. Like, why would I pay a pitcher $400 million plus with the risk of injury and all that? But
I think he's definitely going somewhere because the fact that you're $250 million apart in your negotiations, there's no way that the Tigers are going to extend him.
I think the Tigers look at it like, I think the Tigers look at him and be like, we know you're worth $400 million. I don't think they're subtracting that from his value. I think they're more like, we pay you $400 million. We can't pay anybody else.
Yeah.
Where's the money? So you give them not all your money, but majority of your money that you're signing people. What's the team you're going to put behind him? Right? I don't think they're going to be a horrible offense if they give him $400 million. But I think there'll be a lot worse offense if they do give him $400 million. And I think that's how they look at it. I think they look at it like our pitching staff is young. We have a lot of good young guys that we're trusting to build into a great MLB pitcher. So if we have to trade you and not give you $400 million and get viable pieces back in a trade, they'd much rather do that. But they could also play the waiting card, like okay, you're going to finish the season with us. Because if they don't see a package they like or know they won't get more, if they don't get what they want, they're just going to hold on to him, which I think also has a very high chance of happening. So it all comes down to what they're asking for.
Pete Alonso's a free agent, so whoever told you that doesn't know ball.
Yeah, no, that's not possible. You cannot trade for a free agent.
You know what? Alyssa, drop the at. I don't know if she's still on this. If you're on this, drop the at. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't be upset if we signed Pete Alonso. I just think we should sign Okamoto for first base instead. Like, I'd be happier with him.
I'm not giving Pete Alonso 7 years. If Scott Boras is firm on the 7 years, kick rocks, buddy. I'm not giving 31-year-old Pete Alonso 7 years to play shitty defense at first base. Kick rocks.
This person must have just joined. Yes, I think he's going to the Yankees. Evan does not.
If he goes to the Yankees, it's only because the Yankees know he'll sign an extension with them.
Bookmark this. I'm here for the rebrand for Tucker Lover instead of Dominguez Lover.
Now, what I think the Yankees could do and might try to do is get off Screwball, right? Let's just say Screwball goes to the Mets. You're only worrying about him maybe twice during the regular season if he pitches in both series against us, but you're only going to see him in the World Series if you guys match up.
Yeah.
So I think the Yankees are fine with that. What I think they could possibly do is you sign Tucker. Okay, sign Tucker. And then you re-sign Michael King. I think they might look at
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I would like that one.
And Michael King, from my view, loved playing in New York,
He did.
loved playing for the Yankees. So I think a reunion is more possible. And obviously, he's going to cost a lot less. And especially coming off an injury-prone season, got injured, came back, and then got hurt again.
He's a free agent, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So his price is going to be a lot lower. And I think teams might look at him like, look, you just came off a season with 2 injuries. You might have to take a discount. It's not saying you're a horrible pitcher or a bad pitcher. It's just it's a risk we're taking on you.
Yeah.
But I think that's an avenue the Yankees are looking at is bring back Michael King because he was a good starter for you.
I
And
do like that. I think that would work. And I think the Padres also. Oh no, you said he's a free agent. I'm thinking he's a trade.
yeah,
Because I know for the trade deadline, the Padres were asking about JC Escar, so I said, oh, that would be like, it's at least one of the guys you can send over there.
yeah.
And I don't think the Yankees would necessarily have a problem giving him up.
And the Padres do have, I think Estrada. I think Estrada, the relief pitcher. I think he's a free agent, and he's a guy throws 101. Right, this is the guy now where fix your bullpen. Stop going
If we
after.
can get Mark Leiter Jr. out of our bullpen, I will be so happy.
Yeah, you look. I mean, you look at the strikeout numbers for not for Estrada, but for Leiter, Cruz, all these guys. They're obviously not blowing you away with 99, 100 plus. They're like, here's my breaking ball, try to hit it, right? But the problem with breaking ball, you miss if you're Leiter, if you miss your 82 mile per hour curveball in a part of the zone, it's getting crushed. If you're a pitcher like Estrada who could throw 100 and you miss your spot, it's like you can get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw 101 down the middle, it's a lot harder to hit than 82 mile per hour hanging curveball. So I think that's what they should look into for bullpen this offseason is give me velocity. Do you believe in a Camilo Duvall bounce back? Yes, because he bounced back towards the end of the season.
Yeah, we were
I
just talking
think
about this before we went live. Yeah.
I think his slider is disgusting. It's gross when it's thrown properly, and his cutter, and it's also because of the way he throws the ball, his angle, his arm angle, the way he stands on the mound. It's more towards third. He's basically facing the other. He is facing the other dugout, the opposing dugout, or whatever dugout towards the third base side. He's facing it. So it's there, and it's proven it's been there. He's had great seasons with the Giants. So Camille Duvall will be a great piece once Luke Weaver kicks rocks.
Oh, that was crazy. Yeah, I don't want to sign Luke Weaver again. He had a great run in 2024, but he was just not there this year.
Yeah. So Camille Duvall, give me Estrada. Just give me velocity. I just want velocity.
Get Mark Leiter off my team.
Mark Leiter should kick rocks also with Luke Weaver.
Yes. I was thinking about this the other day when the Yankees released DJ LeMahieu and when they released Marcus Stroman, it was that tweet was the best thing ever. The first one, when they released DJ finally, you gotta feel for the guy. That sucks. But he was I completely forgot. He was making Jazz play third.
Yeah.
That was so long ago. I'm Jazz was playing third. I saw a video, a clip on Twitter or TikTok or something, and it was Jazz making plays at third. I'm well, when did this happen? And then I remembered, oh my God, when DJ was still on the team.
Yeah. And
Jazz was playing all over the place. And I'm I just remember being at work when I got that tweet from Brian Hoke that was DJ LeMahieu got released from the Yankees. I was I need it for Mark Leiter.
Yeah. But it's Jazz played third last season, 2024. Not I'm referring to, and he was a great third baseman. I think he had 2 outs above average playing there. So it's not like he shouldn't have gone into this season I'm nervous about him playing third. Like, he
Mhm.
was a viable option at third, but then you watch DJ play second, and it's like, this guy is so slow and moves so slow that you had to put Jazz back at second.
Yeah.
And then getting Ryan McMahon obviously changed the whole dynamic of the infield for the better. It's like now our infield defense is great.
Right.
So yeah, it should have been done. 2024 DJ should have been off the team, and I think it was going to happen, and I think Judge stopped it because
Mhm.
Judge likes him, and that becomes a big problem. It's not. I get it. You want to play with your friends. You feel for them, but at the end of the day, it's like, grow up, dude. Like,
That's where I think that Judge definitely hinted at something. Like, I think the second that Judge even hinted to the front office that the DJ experiment, whatever you wanna call it, wasn't working out, I think that's immediately when they said, "Alright, like, he's done."
it's not a country club.
No,
This isn't come play rec ball with your
agreed.
friends.
Yeah.
Like, stop
It's not
that
slow
building.
pitch.
Like, dude, get over it. You know.
Yeah.
So
And,
I
like,
think
the DJ was, like, upset too, like, because Aaron Boone was like, "Yeah, we had some, like, hard conversations," and I think they talked to DJ, and he was like, "Yeah, I was shocked," or something, like,
yeah, I shouldn't have
I
been
feel like
shocked, but I
Judge
mean,
definitely no, you shouldn't have been shocked, but I
yeah,
think Judge definitely, like, this I think I'm telling you, the second that Judge was like, "Listen, I don't think this is working out with DJ, like, maybe you guys were right." I think that's when they canned him.
yeah. It's just I think that's also why a big reason why we signed Goldschmidt. I think him and Judge had a good relationship like prior
Mhm.
seasons, which the Goldschmidt signing wasn't bad like at all. Like,
No,
he gave us a very usable first baseman with great defense who could hit lefties.
right. And he
Right.
was
So
better towards the beginning of the season, but you know what, like, the second he got signed, it was just everyone was labeling it a crapshoot, and so
I
I
mean,
think
which it
I think
was.
he was it totally was, but I think that we definitely it could have been so much worse.
Yeah,
Let's
hundred
put it
percent.
that way. It could have been so much worse.
We shouldn't even be in this position. Matt Olson should be a Yankee, but it is what it is. Had to go out and get Rizzo instead.
Yeah.
So
All right. So before we go, I have this on my phone right now. Bleacher Report posted the top 10 hitters of the 2025-2026 free agent class. So I want to know where you think they're all going to go. So we have Kyle Tucker, who I think you want him to be a Yankee. I don't know. I just got that hint.
at the my heart is telling me Yankees.
Okay.
My brain is telling me Dodgers.
Okay. I No, I can't see him going to the Dodgers, and I know that the Dodgers have the money for him. If he doesn't sign with the Yankees, I don't know where. I don't know who I think he'd go to. Like,
Dodgers.
it would suck if he ended up in the Mets.
He will be a Dodger, if not a Yankee, and that's because Teoscar. They're. I think I don't. It might be a 1 year deal Teoscar's on, but they need a.
Oh, right, because they signed him for, like, 1 year at the end of last year, right?
They unfortunately it's like you have to say they need a right fielder. Yeah, and Kyle Tucker's that guy. So
But he's going to the Yankees.
yes,
Okay. Bo Bichette.
Toronto. I think he stays.
I do too. A lot of people want him to go to the Yankees. We're not signing another shortstop. There's
If
no
Bo
way.
Bichette becomes a Yankee, he will get death threats 1 week into the season after he commits 85 errors in one series.
Yeah. And
I,
people will start saying how
I
much they
think there
miss
is a
Volpe.
slim chance he goes to the Dodgers also, depending if Kyle Tucker goes there or not. So
Yeah. I mean, I know Volpe's not going to be here for the beginning of the season, which I'm sure you're so sad about. But we do have Cabby,
yeah, we
and we
do.
also have, if we really, really need it, we have Oswaldo Cabrera. Like,
Yeah,
there's like a little bit of wiggle room there.
or if you want to pull a Volpe in spring training, you bring up Lombard Jr., which I don't think is a possibility, but we'll see how spring training goes for him.
I mean, listen, anything can happen, but yeah, I think we're getting to that point. I think George Lombard's going to be in Triple A by the end of this season. Kyle Schwarber.
I think I want to say he stays in Philly,
I think he stays in Philly. I
but
think JT Realmuto is gonna. He's not on this list, but I think he's gonna end up somewhere else.
but let's just say for the sake of matter, he doesn't sign back with Philly, and we have to put him on the team. I think Boston. I think he goes
Okay.
back to Boston.
I feel like I saw a graphic of him in a Red Sox jersey.
Well, he was on the Red Sox. He played for them.
No, no, no. It was yeah, because people were like, "Bring him home."
Yeah, he
That must
played
be
for
what
them.
I'm thinking of. Pete Alonso. Ooh, someone said maybe the Giants for Tucker.
Uh,
I don't know. I just can't see him going to the Dodgers. So I feel like anything, anything else.
yeah. Uh, Giants. I. It's always a possibility because again, not again, but Giants are one of those teams that not randomly, but will throw money at players. So I'm not going to throw it out the window. It's always a good option because the Giants do have money, and Buster Posey is aggressive, as you saw with the Devers trade. So it's definitely a possibility that he's in there. For Pete Alonso, uh, again, I want to say Mets just because he's a homegrown player and the fans love him, and I think Steve Cohen loves him, and I think Steve Cohen's would be willing to give him the 7 years if it meant he stays with the Mets. Um, Another team I wouldn't put out the picture is maybe Arizona,
Ooh, okay.
possibly Arizona, and if I know Naylor's on the top 10 list also, and
Mhm.
if Naylor doesn't resign in Seattle, I would say Seattle too. So if it's not the Mets, I'll say Arizona and Seattle.
That's interesting to think about. Pete Alonso on the Mariners. I feel like I kind of like that. Okay, Alex Bregman. I feel like he's gonna stay with Boston.
Detroit. I think he goes to Detroit.
Ooh, something's telling me he's gonna stay in
I
Boston.
think he wanted to go to Detroit over Boston. I don't think Detroit wanted to give him the money. Um, so maybe now he goes back to Detroit and like, look what I did.
Okay. All right, these two I'll say together: Cody and Trent. Trent is walking. He's gonna
Cody
end up on the
Bell,
Mets.
Cody Bellinger. Damn, it's tough. Uh, what did I put? Let
Yeah,
me see.
because you posted about this too, didn't you?
I did. I put Cody Bellinger. I did put Cody Bellinger for a Yankee. Um, if I had to think of another team who needs a center fielder or a right fielder, I mean, look, if Yankees get Kyle Tucker, you could say Bellinger goes back to the Dodgers. Why not? I'll say Dodgers, if not the Yankees.
Ooh. I don't know how I feel about Cody on the Dodgers. I'd miss him, but if we get Tucker, it's okay.
Yeah, it is.
Um, Eugenio Suarez.
I put Red Sox. I think if Bregman goes to Detroit, I think Boston pivots to Suarez. I think they
That's
would like
yeah.
his right-handed bat with the monster. And they've dealt with Devers' horrible defense at third, so they're used to bad defense there. So why not?
Is his
Red Sox.
defense really that bad,
He's a
Suarez?
horrible defender.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why did everyone want him so bad at the trade deadline?
The power numbers. He smashes home runs.
Oh, we needed the defense so bad. I'm so
Yeah.
glad we got McMahon instead. Josh Naylor.
I said he stays put in Seattle, but I also have the Giants.
I can totally see him going to the Giants.
I think you have Matt Chapman at third,
Mhm.
right? So you're not playing Devers at third. But I think you could not platoon. I think you can on and off Naylor and Devers, DH in first base. So
I do. I agree with you. I feel like that would be a good fit. And then Harrison Bader. I think he's staying in
stays in
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
I think he's great in Philly.
Yeah. I do miss him on the Yankees. I just think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But he stayed. I think he's staying in
Oh,
Philly for sure.
and Grisham goes to the Mets.
Yeah,
Grisham is a
I
New
feel
York.
like we all knew where that one was going.
Grisham is a New York Met.
He's a New York Met.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely the Yankees aren't even gonna offer him that qualifying offer.
If they do, I
I
will
don't
riot and never watch a game again. If Trent Grisham's on my team again, no, dude, that's no.
No, I don't think they give him the qualifying offer, which I'll ask one more question before we wrap it up. Which Yankees do you think are gonna get the qualifying offer?
Only one I can think of off the top of my head is Devin Williams. I think they extend a qualifying offer to him.
Yeah, I do. I think he's shown towards the end of the year that he definitely likes it here. I think it was a really hard adjustment for him
Yeah,
to go from Milwaukee to New York.
and
But like towards the end of the year, it was like
he
it
said
was
that
great. Yeah,
after the CS, he said he got very comfortable towards the end, and that it was a
yeah,
little hard at first.
yeah.
And I think every other free agent is much older to get the qualifying offer. I think you don't give Slater it.
No.
You don't give Rosario it. I mean, you could try to bring Rosario back on like a 1-year deal for like $8 million or something.
Yeah, but he's not getting. I think it's likely that we'll sign him for a
Yeah,
1 or 2 year deal, but I don't think he's getting the qualifying offer. That's a lot of money.
I think just right now it's Devin that they give it to. And
Okay.
I think he'll deny it. I don't think
You don't think he's gonna? You don't think he's
no,
gonna take it?
no, because he could get a lot of money. He could get a lot of money.
That's true. That also is a crapshoot. Like he did have a really rocky year. He did settle in,
Yeah,
but is he gonna start the season again and be shaky like he was last year? Like that. Obviously, you don't know any of these
yeah,
things, but do you take the risk and give him so much more money than that? Because honestly, he is worth that money. Like he is a great player. Once he settles in, but you need him to settle in.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you do. I think you do take the risk because I think you subtract this one down year and look at his numbers from the other year. It's like this. You look at it and be like, this won't continue the way he
Mhm.
started, especially playing in New York.
That's a hard adjustment for anyone, especially coming from Milwaukee. Like,
yeah,
Cody played on the Dodgers, he played on the Cubs. These are all big market teams. Like he's used to that.
yeah,
Obviously playing in New York is different than playing anywhere else, but Cody did come from those teams that
yeah,
are bigger market teams. And Devin Williams came from the Brewers, which is such a huge, adjustment to make.
yeah,
And then just trying to get into that groove is also another thing. Because what was working for him in Milwaukee just wasn't working for him in New York. And
yeah.
he said in interviews, like, I just don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was genuinely so lost for so long, but he definitely crawled out of it. And I trust him in high leverage situations now. And
Yeah,
for the longest time, I didn't.
yeah. He became that guy who was like, okay, you could put him in. He became that guy again. Like,
Right.
put him. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting off season for sure.
Hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so.
Well, you're going to have to come back on the show to
Yes.
talk about the off season once, Jeff Passan starts posting. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
today. And we'll definitely come on again soon.
Yes.
Definitely, if you guys are watching, follow Dominguez Lover, soon to be Tucker Lover,
That's right.
because it is happening. And thanks for watching. We will see you guys next time.